Hello, welcome back. In today's video, which is day 3, we are going to be talking about routing, middleware, and context. So what is routing? Routing just means the location or the direction of where the resource is going to be. For instance, let's say we want to get a resource that is stored in the users. How do we get it? We need to create a route. And for us to do that, we need to know a few things. We need to, first of all, call our Uno instance, an Uno instance, which is our app. Then we need to call the method. So this method can either be get, post, put, patch, delete. And after calling any of those methods, we need to put a path. Basically, where is it located? Like I said, we're getting all the users from our database. So our path needs to correspond to what it says, which is users. After we're done naming a path, we then need to call a handler. And the handler, what this does, it takes in the request and returns a response. So your handler here is your context. What is context? Context is basically what creates this is how best I can explain the context. So context is like your life cycle. So every request that is being created, it sticks around until a response is sent. So that's how best I can explain a context. So let's dive. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, so I've gone ahead to create my route, which is this get route. And what I want to do is I want to get all the users in my database. These are the users here. So these are the users, 5 users. So when I go to my browser and I search it/users, what I'm supposed to see should be the list of all the users in my database. Okay, I think I'm going to stop using my browser for now. I'm going to switch to I don't know what it's being called, but it's what we use to test our APIs. What I'm using is I'll be using ThunderClient, which is something I installed to my VS Code. Some of us, if you have Postman, you can use Postman. I'm sure there are other browser extensions that can do such things, but I'm going to be sticking to ThunderClient. So Ctrl+Shift+P, ThunderClient, new requests. So let's see, my server is on. I'm sure of that. Let me try to run it again. So I need to go to where it's been I need to go to the path, which is http://localhost/user sit there. Then I send. As you can see, all the users are returned. That's my response. 200. Okay. The header is going to be application.json. Yeah, that's the content type. So this is my response, all the users. Now let's say I'm trying to create a user. I'm going to do the same thing, but the only thing that's going to change is going to be my method, which is going to be post. Alright, so this is the function, or this is the route for creating a user. Let me explain what I've done so far. I've called my context and I'm telling it that I'm going to be expecting a JSON structure from my request. So what the user is going to be passing is going to be JSON. Let me show you. In the body, JSON. There are other types: XML, form, text, form encoded, GraphQL, and binary. Binary should be your files, yes. But I'm sticking to JSON. So let me try to create a user. I don't need this one. It's going to be created for me automatically. So a new user is going to be Scott. No, let me just say Spain. And is of age 40. Its color is blue. So now when I try to create, ensure you change this from get to post. When I try to create, as you can see, a new user has been created already, which is Spain. blue color and age 40. The ID is 6. Okay, now you'll now be asking yourself, if I want to get a single user, how will I do it? So the best way to do it is by creating, let's see, let me turn off my AI. $30. Okay, so now get a user by the ID is going to be app.get. Same thing as before, but this time around, because of our getting a singular user, we have to put a params, which is going to be, so we'll say go to the /users/ then a params telling us that, okay, this is dynamic. That's what this means, dynamic. All these ones here are static. This is dynamic, meaning it's going to change. Then you pass your handler, your c dots, let me make it async. So your handler is going to be c. Okay. So, okay, the next thing you're going to do is, how will I get this parameter? Don't worry, context or the Hono team has provided us with a way to do it. So that will be c.requests.params. Now, the thing I like about it, as you can see already, is already telling me that this is what is my params ID. If I change this from D, it's going to tell me what my params is D. That's one thing I like about this. If you try to do this in Express, I don't think it's possible. You have to like manually type it yourself and go through that. But no, this one does it for us automatically. So let me return it back to ID. Okay. All right. Let me explain what I just did. What I'm doing here is getting my ID, and everything that comes from the browser, your ID, is going to be in string. So I need to convert it to a number. Now, once it has been converted to number, I use that ID to then find the user, using the find method. If it's there, it returns the user. If it's not there, it tells me that, okay, the user is not found, return 404. So let's see it in action. Change this method to get. Let me first of all not try to find someone that's not in the database. So let's see. You can see 404 not found. Then the user is not found. That's my error. But if I try to find someone that is in the database, it gives me 200. Okay. Then the ID, the user, and to be sure that that is it, let's try calling all the users. You can see it found the correct user for me. Alright, now I want to try to update the users and delete the users. Okay, to do that, I need to call my put, patch, and delete method. I'm going to be showing you how. Okay, I've gone ahead to create a route for each of them. Update, partial update, complete update, and delete. Okay, so let me explain what I have here. So this follows the same logic as that of this. And now the question you ask yourself, okay, so now the question you're asking yourself, what is patch? So to use patch is used for just partially updating if an object. So if you just want to change the name or the age or the color, just those things, you can use patch. But if you want to do a complete change of everything, a complete change, you use put. So that's when you use patch and put. Let's go to our, now let's use patch. Let me try to patch user 1. So I want to change the name from from Emmanuel to Galaxy. So that's going to be, as you can see, the name has been changed already. To be sure, I need to call, let me just call the single user. As you can see, it has been changed already. Now, if I try to patch a user, let me now change everything. So if I'm trying to make a complete update, let me now do that. So that'll be Galaxy is now going to be 129. It's going to be red. So, okay, let me try it now. As you can see, everything has been changed already. Galaxy is now, so let me try to get all the users to see if it actually works. See, Galaxy is now 1, and Galaxy is now 129, and the color is red. Now, if I want to delete a user, the same thing. I pick the ID. Let me delete user 1. Now user 1 has been deleted. To be sure, just user not found, meaning that it's no more in the database. Now if you think you're in doubt, let's try to get all the users. As you can see, user 1 has been deleted already. So that's it about routes. Now the next thing is middleware. What middleware is it acts as a bouncer, just like how it's a bouncer acts. Okay, then let me use that word. Middleware is placed before it's placed before a handler. So before your response or your request is being taken care of, a middleware is in between it. So it acts as a guard. So now let me go back to my bouncer example. Let's say you're trying to attend a party and you are needed to have an invitation card to attend the party. Without the invitation card, you cannot attend. So that's what the bouncer does. It checks whether you are with the necessary document before you can enter a place. And if it's noticed that you don't have that document, it sends you away. And if it notices that you do have that document, it allows you to go through. So that's the middleware for you. It is placed in between. It is placed before and after a handler. So let's create our own middleware. So what this middleware is going to be doing is it's going to be telling us what route, what method and path we are in. So to create a global middleware, I put it above every other thing, above every other route. Alright, so this is my middleware. What this middleware is supposed to do is log out my method and my path. And as you can see, it's kind of similar to that of your handler. So you can just say middleware is your handler, but it has an extra parameter in the function, which is your next. What your next is meant to do is it's meant to move on to the next thing. So your middleware is not supposed to return anything, and if it does, it's going to crash. So let's try and see it at work. Let's see what the middleware does. Okay, as you can see, my middleware crashed, and I know the reason why. It's because of I didn't use my next. Like I said, your middleware is not meant to return anything. It's meant to have a next, so that it moves on to the next thing. Await next. Let me make it. Okay. So now let's call it again. As you can see, it's now working. You can reach the hello route. And if you look at my terminal, I can see my method and I can see the path. If I try to get to /users, you can see it logs in what it's meant to do, gets and gives me the path. Now just notice something. If I move this middleware away from here to, let's say, here, you'll notice something has changed. So now I'm trying to get the users. If you look at my terminal, nothing was logged. I'm getting it's working, but when I go to /this, okay, I get to see my middleware start to do its work. It shows me the method and also the path. And why is because of the middleware. This is placed before this route, so everything that is after this route gets the middleware runs before it. Everything after this route, after the middleware, gets checked. Everything before the middleware is ignored. So let's say an example of a place to use this in your backend could be when you have like sensitive data, protected data that only authenticated users should have access to. That's when you use your middleware. But if you feel that this one is meant for everyone, then you can just leave it the way it is. So that's how middleware works. Alright, now let's try to create a route in another file and see, and I'll explain to you what is going on. Alright, so I've been able to create a new file. I called it auth, and in this file we're going to be handling authentication. So we want to register a user. So if you can see, it's nothing different from what we did here. We just created a new instance of Hono. We called the route. We did everything as we normally do. Then we're going to export it. Now, this is like a global instance of our server. So for us to be able to use this here, we need to use the app route method. Okay, so we'll be using the app route method. What this app route method wants, it wants a path. So that'll be auth, and then the handler. So the other instance of Uno, that'll be auth route. So let's give it a shot. So that'll be okay. So to test it out, we'll go to auth /register. Then we try to create a new user. What does it want? So in our body, we want to have a user name and a password. So that's going to be user name, it's Galaxy. Then password is going to be not safe. Okay, so yeah, now the reason why I'm getting this error is because of this route does not exist. So let me try to change it to post, and as you can see now, a user has been registered and this is the data of that user. All right, so that will be the end of today's video. In the next video, we're going to be looking at the environment variable and have a more modular structure, or how I structure my code base. All right, thank you.